According to this, we are all the way live. Yes, indeed. How are you doing? Today, we are going to address some of the new stories, the hot stories, the somewhat weird stories. First one I would love to hit today, and only because it's the freshest in my mind, is Josh Allen. Josh Allen looked very confident today in his interview with Pat. I was very intrigued by the level of confidence that he had, and he seemed to be in his element. He was very, very happy. He also kind of gave us some ideas that Dalton Kincaid is, yes, an asset, but he needs to learn the defenses a little bit more. He needs to be able to read and anticipate better. And he's new and he's fresh, and we shouldn't expect too much. And that's the same of all the rookies. All the rookies, come on. The pace of the game is insane. The pressure of the game. Only the very mentally superior would be able to go through that and not absolutely lose their mind. We were talking about world class athletes that they're competing against. Josh Allen also talked about the mind, body, and soul connection. And he had talked about, you know, going into the cold bath, right? Where you take a bath and you fill it with ice. He was also doing the extreme heat. So he was, as he had said, trying to shock the body. He has also lost some weight, and he has been doing some fasting. And fasting is really good for the system if you know what you're doing. He also talked about how important it was to handle yourself in a professional way on the field and off the field. The other thing he talked about, which is so important, is to stay out of harm's way as much as you can. And, maybe be a little more patient on the read. And if you have to throw it away, don't always press to make something happen. He also talked about reaching out to Anthony Richardson if he needed some help or tutelage, that he felt like he wanted to be an ambassador of the league. He talked about his fondness that he had for Aaron Rodgers, how he had grown up as, a small boy and had dreamed to once be as great as the very famous Aaron Rodgers. There is such a beautiful outpouring for Aaron. And yet, if you go back a year ago, he was this nasty curmudgeon. So I think we're going to see, once the honeymoon is over, more and more sides of Anthony. Aaron is a very bright man, and he has looked at the game of football almost scientifically. And Anthony Richardson is going to have to develop those type of skills. How to slow the game down in your mind. The wonderful thing about Anthony Richardson is that he is a great scrambler, a wonderful runner. He, I think, is going to be somewhat durable. I hope that's true. I worry about the other quarterbacks, the rookies this year. It's going to be tricky because you were going up against the third string teams. Some of them did not have their best people out, and you still weren't shining. But I don't know. I've had just this gut feeling about Anthony Richardson. He'll do well. I think you need to take time to really harvest these players, like Jordan Love. He has had 3 years to ease into the pot, to get ready. He has been taught by Aaron You know, I don't think we really realize how difficult it is to win, any game. And especially, you have to be so grateful to get to the level of where you're going to make the playoffs, postseason. Unfortunately, with Josh has had a rough time there. He's not won the Super Bowl yet. I think he'll win several. I'm not convinced it's going to be with the Buffalo Bills, though. I hope that I'm wrong. Buffalo, to me, is missing pieces. It just does not have the same oomph that a lot of the other teams do. Um, I do like that Stefan Diggs has been named team captain. Maybe that will help heal some of the wounds. We are we're coming into a strange time. And Dak, I think, was dealt kind of a wake-up call. And Jerry doesn't care. Jerry wants to win. And I think Jerry knows that he only has so much time left. And the clock is ticking. And it's not ticking in his favor. And the Dallas Cowboys are an incredibly successful team for, merchandising, being able to make money. They are one of the best hype teams out there. And sometimes you have to read between the hype and the potential. But this is a bit of a cluster. And I don't know if you're going to get the results you want by pressure cooking. Now, if you're thinking that Trey Lance is going to become something in the next 2 to 3 years, phenomenal. I think that was a great idea. I don't think it was done in the purest terms. I think it was done as something to make the seat a little hotter, to ramp up the level of pressure. And Dak doesn't need more pressure, unfortunately. If you're a player on the Dallas Cowboys, it is stressful. Imagine being the person who is the quarterback. It's got to be sometimes absolutely brutal. Many people forecast that the Cowboys are going to make it to the Super Bowl. Many people forecast that they have the roster to do it. Is Dak going to be the individual to be able to get past all the interceptions? Are they going to put tools around him that are going to help? Is Deuce Vaughn going to be an asset for them as well? Is he going to stay, on the field? He is just, I think, 170 pounds. He's something like 5'5", 5'6". He is an exciting back to watch. I'm rooting for him. I hope it goes well. I hope he gets to play quite a few games. And I hope that he stays away from injuries. But we all know, especially with quarterbacks and running backs, it is a daily occurrence. They're constantly being injured. And this is part of the reason why there's so much speculation on you can't pay running backs too much money because they're only an asset for 3 or 4 years, where quarterbacks generally end up being, if they have a good career, they can be in the league up to 12, 14, 16 years. And you're going to get great production out of them sometimes in the 6th, the 7th year. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe. I'm hoping that we will have the time each and every day to be here together. Until next time, may the sun shine your way. God bless you all.